The movie director of the film Cannibal Holocaust faced life in prison because the movie looked so realistic that people actually thought the actors were being murdered. That is, until they showed up for court. The film remains banned and or heavily edited in most countries.
You can actually tell that to a certain extent, even if the movie was actually released in 2023, right? We are accepting of just about everything and anything that is gory. But this movie takes it to a whole other level, dude. I couldn't remember the last time I actually watched a movie this gory in a long time, especially not a movie that's part of my vintage collection. So the director, Ruggero Deodato, I don't even know if I pronounced his name right, for the life of me. I tried. I probably pronounced it wrong. He was actually arrested and charged with obscenity. We're also led to believe that he was facing life imprisonment should he have been found guilty. The funny part is the movie was actually banned 10 days after its release in Milan, Italy. So in case you're asking yourself what's so gory about the movie, you are probably thinking it was released in the year 1980. It couldn't have been that bad. Well, for starters, besides the very gory and graphic violent scenes, also the scenes that display a large amount of sexual assault, including animal cruelty, dude. I would argue that if Ruggero Deodato released the movie in 2023, he would have gotten cancelled not for the violence, not for the sexual assault scenes, no, but definitely for animal cruelty. We all know this. The vegetarians and also the vegan community was definitely going to come after this guy. He would have been instantaneously cancelled. 1980, with this movie, this oak wasn't even cancelled, dude. Even though the movie was banned in about 31 different countries to this day, this oak wasn't even cancelled after the movie. He actually went on to direct about 12 other movies. The latest movie was released in 2019, and he directed that movie. The only thing closest to a resemblance of some sort of repercussion that he almost paid was him almost serving a life sentence because people thought that people were actually murdered in the movie. The reason that people thought that people were actually killed in the movie is because the animals that were killed in the movie were literally killed in the movie. It is not fake, dude. That is the part that is most shocking, bro. Regarding animal cruelty, apparently there was a scene where a monkey had its head chopped off, and this was a real live monkey. There was also a scene of a turtle that was decapitated. This part kills me. There was a pig apparently that was kicked around and then also shot. A tarantula, spider, and also a snake that was cut into two using a machete. If that is not graphic and these are real live animals, dude, Ruggero was on his own level, dude. He was extremely brave. The only movie that was closest to being as graphic as Holocaust Cannibal was a movie called Cannibal. It was also directed by a director from Italy. The director's name is Umberto Lenzi. Cannibal was released about 3 years after Cannibal Holocaust was released. The only difference between those two movies, there wasn't any displays of any sort of sexual violence or sexual assault of any kind. The storyline is also quite similar. It's still just as graphic. And just to give you guys a bit of a brief and very short summary of what the movie is actually about. So the movie follows an anthropologist along with a rescue team who make their way all the way to the Amazon to rescue a team that was sent to the Amazon rainforest to essentially investigate the indigenous cannibalistic tribes. Personally, dude, I wouldn't do it. As soon as I hear cannibal, my friend, I am out. I am not trying to be eaten. And as you guessed it, those guys were definitely served and eaten for breakfast, lunch, and supper. So this is after the professor finds actual footage of the last missing documentary crew. So yeah, these oaks were missing for about 2 months, so it's safe to assume the worst. Like I said, I personally would volunteer to exclude myself from a rescue mission of this nature. You guys would literally have to see the movie first in order for you guys to actually understand and to sympathize with my reason for the exclusion, essentially.
Scary videos on the internet. Creature hiding in a vent.
What the hell's that thing, dude? Is it a lizard? Because it looks like a lizard. My eyes work perfectly fine, sir. I can see that is an animal that you cannot find on any animal encyclopedia in the world. As soon as I see that, I will literally take a video for about 2 seconds before I am out of there, dude. Based off of the wooden decor inside, it looks like it's camping. I would be out. End of camp. It is done. Can somebody explain to me whether or not this man will be sleeping there tonight? I'm sorry, I can't. I couldn't do it. I am literally out. I am done. It's not gonna happen. Camp is over, and very early too. Imagine having to see a strange creature hiding in the vent. And I'm supposed to sleep there. I'm not even dreaming. Not a chance, bro. I can't do it. Even if they were to say that somebody else will then occupy my cabin, I'll still say no. By the time they even try to convince me to stay, somehow, some way, I'm already halfway through the highway, dude. On my way home, to my place of safety.
Scariest video on dark web.
Is it just me, or does the dark web always have something? For all you know, you might find there's a gentleman out there who was chatting to this pretty lassie, only to find that she looks like Shrek's wife, dude. Imagine that, bro. But also, in the first place, what are you doing chatting up women from the dark web? It's called the dark web for a reason, dude. You don't go looking for love or some sort of companionship on the dark web. Otherwise, guys, let's just settle for Tinder and Bumble, dude. Not the dark web. I don't even wonder what they call the dating apps on dark web. I don't want to know.
Ghost in the mirror.
Never shall we die.
I'm trying to figure out if this little girl knows that there's some sort of ghost or demon that's essentially trying to take over her body, if it hasn't already. This is actually giving me the mirror vibes, dude. Does she even know what's going on? For all we know, it's her imaginary friend who she thinks is harmless, but when she looks the other way, that thing's trying to eat her, dude. This is why I have never had any imaginary friends whatsoever. And I'm probably weird not to have had one, but thank goodness. You never know if you're talking to a demon or an actual imaginary friend. In the first place, where do they come from? So no, I'm sorry, I'm not taking chances, bro. I'm not gonna do that. Not at all. I refuse to participate in such things, in such extracurricular activities, if you may.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock, he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at, muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house, so they run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kid's bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie. This is the actual transcript of what was written on his door, which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
Scanning the tape. Fatal damage found. Fatal damage found. Fatal damage found. Fatal damage found. Fatal damage.